The story of Gohan Black begins in a dark and destroyed future as Trunks and Mai, alongside the Earth's last remaining defenders, have made an attempt on stopping an entity who has been destroying their world now for several years, and in this attempt, to Trunks' surprise, the very same person who happened to be responsible for the future's destruction is none other than Gohan. And through this act of desperation, Gohan managed to find and locate the whereabouts of Mai and Trunks, and trying to stop them in furthering their plans on taking Gohan down, Gohan took it upon himself to kill Mai, as now a standown between Trunks and Gohan commences. Upon battling Gohan Black, Trunks realizes that his powers are indeed inferior to Black's, due to Black's ability of consistently growing during the process of combat, in which even allows Gohan Black's base form to combat that of Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, in which out of the sheer hope of desperation, Trunks uses a solar flare attack in order to blind Gohan Black during the course of combat, in order to buy Trunks some time in getting in the time machine and traveling into the past seeking for help. During this time, future Bulma and future Mai have been killed off by the hands of Gohan Black and having to seek answers as to why his master is now turning against him, Trunks goes back into the past as he seeks out the help of Goku and Vegeta in order to aid him against such a powerful adversary. But even with the attempt of going back into the past, Gohan Black later destroys every city he comes across in order to flush out Trunks from hiding, in which he later realizes that his time ring had been acting up, opening up a rift within space and time itself, as Gohan Black steps through this void in order to seek out future Trunks. After arriving into the past, Trunks' time machine crashes behind Capsule Corp, where everyone including Bulma wondered as to what had just happened as they noticed the familiar machine with the word hope written on it. As Bulma caters to an unconscious Trunks, Goku, Vegeta alongside the gods Beerus and Whis, who were present at the time, show up to investigate. After waking up from being unconscious, Trunks warns of a deadly warrior panicking and acting wildly as Goku attempts to calm Trunks down. Trunks later asks Goku about Gohan and where he might be, with Goku having to respond by saying he doesn't know, he hasn't seen Gohan in quite some time. As Trunks attempts to fly off and finding him, claiming that Gohan must be killed, Vegeta stops Trunks upon taking flight and telling him to relax and that there will be no killing today. And just as Trunks calls out father to Vegeta, a strange rift begins to open as something emerges from the other side, that being Gohan Black. Gohan Black is curious as to where the time ring had taken him, and noticing everyone present and recognizing Goku, Vegeta, and Beerus by face. After arriving into the past and engaging against both Goku and Vegeta, they noticed that Black's ki felt very different than any other person they've encountered before, with Beerus having to say that he too has sensed something different about Black and being able to recognize that indeed what he possessed was not normal ki, but in fact something more divine. Whis explains that due to the time rift being ripped open because of the time ring on Black's hand, it caused an unnatural balance to occur, in which resulted in a window of shortage between the reality in which Black had came from to the current reality that Black was residing in. Whis also notices that Gohan had an unnatural fighting style and being able to adapt to Goku's movements alongside matching his strikes blow for blow with an unusual sense of growth in his power. Vegeta later states that he's also noticed that Gohan was baiting Goku into battle, as Gohan was improving during the course of fighting Super Saiyan 3 Goku and also being able to charge up his ki during the course of their engagements. With this information being given, Beerus and Whis go off to universe number 10 to confront Gowasu about the time rings, given the fact that the time rings do preside in universe number 10, held by the Kaioshin known as Gowasu. They head off to their journey in finding out if anyone had any sort of interaction with the time rings. During that time, Goku heads off with Beerus and Whis to further conduct their investigation, all while Trunks begins to explain the origins of where Gohan Black had come from. With this information, Trunks had revealed that the first time he had encountered Gohan Black in the future, Trunks was very hesitant in attacking Gohan as he saw him as his master. Trunks also explains that Gohan knew about Trunks' arrival into the past alongside much more information that was never given to Gohan, as Trunks originally thought that this was his real master that had perished by the hands of the androids, but it turns out that this Gohan had come from a different universe. Although not knowing which time Gohan had come from, Gohan would often talk about the Super Saiyan transformation and the idea that it was never needed for him due to his ability to transcend beyond that of Super Saiyan abilities, in which later reveals that Gohan never needed the powers to transform into a Super Saiyan because he is already in his ultimate form. He had also told Trunks that he had come from a very divine place, a place to where the gods watch over the mortals, and the idea that Gohan believed that nobody else was above him due to the philosophy of a god to a Ningen. To this, we head on over to universe number 10 as Beerus, Whis, and Goku encounter Gowasu and Zamasu, as Goku later on engages against Zamasu in a one-on-one battle, in which reveals to us that Zamasu had similar ki to Gohan Black, but never giving us any definitive proof as to whether or not they were one and the same. Because of his humiliating defeat, Zamasu admits his hatred towards Ningen, as he feels regular mortals should not be in a place to where they have any interaction or contact with divine beings, in which later causes Zamasu to reveal that mortals have abused their powers of the knowledge given to them by the gods, in which is later countered by Beerus, Whis, the Supreme Kai, and Goku, as they begin to explain to Zamasu the flaws of humankind, but also the benefits of what mortals can do for one another, rather than having an opposed sense of justice. Zamasu later is conflicted by the idea on whether or not his philosophy is right or wrong, and having to talk to Gowasu about how he feels about the situation, with Gowasu having to explain to Zamasu that the role of a Kaioshin should be that to look over after life and guiding them in the right direction. Having to set an example, the Kaioshins are the primary sources of responsibility to guiding civilizations into prosperity. Zamasu later begins to have an internal struggle with his philosophy mindset on whether or not he was right or wrong about the situation, and viewing mortals in life the way he does, and preserving them as being lesser beings than he is since he comes from divine nature, in which later leads to Beerus, Whis, and Goku having to return back to Earth, with Vegeta having to volunteer and going into the future and following Black's trail and seeing if they can stop him, alongside Trunks and Goku having to tag along for the ride, in which causes them to later travel into the future via Bulma having to build another time machine, in which Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku have now entered the future, in which they call upon Black for his arrival, as Gohan shows up with asking them as to why it took them so long to be there. He's grown ever so powerful ever since his time into the past, and reveals that ever since he's engaged Goku and Vegeta, his powers have multiplied beyond comprehension, in the idea that now he's reached a level of power that nobody else can possibly ascend to. Gohan Black is then met with the challenge by Vegeta, as Vegeta vows for a rematch to be very different than how they were in their first encounter. Through the final acts of desperation, Trunks managed to use a solar flare to momentarily blind Gohan Black and Zamasu from finishing off Goku and Vegeta, as Trunks managed to grab Goku and Vegeta's bodies and taking them both deep underground where Zamasu and Goku Black cannot detect them, with Goku and Vegeta having to mask their powers. During this process, Goku suggests to Vegeta that their normal base powers cannot possibly be enough to handle the likes of Gohan Black, considering that Gohan Black has mastered the abilities of Ultimate Gohan, combining that with the Super Saiyan God powers and creating the ultimate Super Saiyan God form. Through that, it is also noted that Goku cannot possibly use Kaioken, as they do not have enough time to bide, as Zamasu and Gohan Black do not want to allow Goku to achieve such a technique, but instead Goku comes up with a plan in asking Vegeta to commence with the fusion technique, as it is their only chance in stopping Gohan Black in achieving higher power, with Vegeta having to turn down Goku's offer momentarily until Goku mentions that the fusion technique that they will be using will be the Metamarise fusion, which will only last that of an hour. Vegeta, having to be prideful, refuses until Trunks also says that he's been saving some senzu beans this entire time is what kept him alive, and hands over the last remaining senzu beans on over to Goku and Vegeta as they begin to heal themselves, with Trunks having to mention that they can only master powers momentarily, and in that time Gohan Black and Zamasu will find them. During the time being, Vegeta manages to swallow his pride in agreeing with Goku in performing the fusion, with Goku having to teach Vegeta momentarily on how to do the fusion dance, with Vegeta having to complain on how girly it looks, with Trunks having to say there's no time remaining, if we don't do something soon, we're all going to perish. With Vegeta having to finally learn about the fusion dance, Goku and Vegeta head back out for them to commence the fusion dance against Zamasu and Gohan Black. evil that has come from the future has now been destroyed by the hands of Gogeta and Trunks, and having to avenge Trunks' timeline. In the process of doing so, Goku and Vegeta bid Trunks farewell as they leave him to clean up and for him to rebuild his world, as there is still hope for Trunks' time, as Trunks still bears the technology to travel out into deep space, as Trunks will attempt to gather all the Dragon Balls on planet Namek in wishing for the restoration of his world alongside those killed by the hands of Gohan Black and Zamasu. The present-day Zamasu, on the other hand, had a change of heart. Having his ideas be conflicted, Zamasu saw the error in his ways and sought out further guidance from Gowasu in teaching him in the ways of how to be a future Kaioshin. In the end, there was a confliction of two. One being present Zamasu having to be conflicted in the error of his ways and having to correct his ideologies and further understanding humanity, while the other was engulfed in hatred and embarrassment, having to see what Goku had done during that time and fueling himself and being driven to destroy all forms of humanity. But by the end, there can only be peace in future Trunks' timeline. That is, for now. Thank you all for watching this very special video of the Gohan Black story. I truly hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to go on ahead and leave your support by leaving a like on the video. If you guys love Dragon Ball content, be sure to go on ahead and subscribe for more Dragon Ball news, information, updates, and of course explained videos alongside tons of awesome Dragon Ball content on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. As always, tune back in for more, and I will be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, guys.